Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat for Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing at 3 different tracks in the 3 different series here with the Trucks, Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series. But first we have the Truck Series here at Kentucky Speedway. We had an Xfinity Series driver actually in our truck for this one, and that was Harrison Burton. Not Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton's holding a grudge on us, but we had Noah Gragson in the truck here as Austin Hill was on the pole. Sheldon Creed failed technical inspection, so he was starting at the back of the field as we had Gragson qualify in a pretty solid position around the top 10 as he would get underway here in our number 25 Silverado as he went down towards turns 1 on this opening lap. So definitely had some confidence as we have had one of the best teams here in the Truck Series this season. We haven't had really the wins to showcase for it, but obviously there still hasn't really been a lot of races either, so I'm confident that this could be the season in our final NASCAR Heat 4 season of the career mode. I think we can definitely be a threat here for the Truck Series Championship now, as Gragson would get past Jennifer Joe Cobb on this opening lap, and he would move his way forwards continuously as he got to the outside of Tyler Ankrum there in the number 17 as he went down this back straightaway towards turn 3. So just continuing to move his way forwards. Gragson obviously doing a terrific job in the Xfinity Series this season in real life, which kind of caught me off guard, and he's continuing that success over here into our truck as he would go up the inside of Johnny Sauter into turns 3 and make the pass on him. We now came through to the final lap here at Kentucky Speedway, and Gragson struggled to really get any further as he actually lost ground to the trucks up ahead as it was a few trucks behind him battling it out between Sauter and Eckes as he went down this back straightaway towards turns 3 for the final time here in Kentucky. It was a side-by-side battle for the victory between Matt Crafton and Harrison Burton, but Burton would have the edge as he came out of turns 4 here as Gragson goes down this front straightaway for the final time. He's going to come through to cross the line well inside the top 10 here, actually for a P5 finish, so a very, very solid finish here once again for us in the Truck Series. But now it's time to go road racing again here in the Xfinity Series, this time at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, a track that usually pretty wild for myself. Obviously, if you guys remember the Nitro Racing League episode here quite a few months ago now, it was a pretty wild race for us online when I just had a very rough time here. So, like I said, Mid-Ohio usually not the best track for us here in the Xfinity Series. We had subscriber Will Nunn in the car. He qualified a little bit down the order here as we go down towards turns 1. Our team usually struggles here. I think this is really our worst road course on the Xfinity Series schedule, but I was still confident that Will could still get a solid finish for us, since he would actually slow up a little bit going down towards turns 2, just so we could go up the inside there. A little bit of contact made though on the back bumper of Brandon Jones as he came through that second corner, but it was not a big deal there, as there was really no damage dealt from that little moment of contact here as he was continuing up on this right hand side down this straightaway, right on the back again of the 19 of Brandon Jones now as he went down towards what turn 3 would be. I believe this is turn 3 now as it comes to approaching turns 4. It was a bit of a mess going 3 wide in the middle there, making quite a bit of contact, being very aggressive here on the start of this race here in Mid-Ohio. But he would then get up the right-hand side of Ross Chastain, who is our Xfinity Series rival here in this series now, as he would make a little bit more contact there on his right rear quarter panel. Chastain would hang on to the car, and that would be the end of this battle there. And Will would kind of struggle to move his way forwards now, as he was still battling with the likes of Ross Chastain. The 11 of Justin Haley gives the 4 of Chastain quite the punt there into the corner. He would pass the 11 of Haley and now set his focus on Chastain there in the 4, but he would not really be able to go much further now as we come through already now to the final lap here in Mid-Ohio, and Will just had struggled to be able to get any more positions now at this point, as he was still just in front of the 11 of Haley. He actually kind of cut that corner, but no big deal. No penalty was handled down. Now he comes through the penultimate corner, getting through here pretty smoothly, but not the best race for us here in Mid-Ohio as usual. In the Xfinity Series goes a little bit wide there on the exit, but Will Nunn comes through to cross the line in P14. So not the worst effort there as Tyler Reddick does win the race, but now it's time to come through into the Cup Series for our final time at Michigan, which you could kind of call it my home track here in the Cup Series, arguably now, as obviously being Canadian, we don't have a Cup Series track in Canada, but this track here and Watkins Glen are both about the same distance away from me, and that's about 4 hours or so. So we can kind of quote unquote call it a home track here in Michigan as we go down this back straightaway here in our qualifying attempt. 38.476 seconds was the goal for us as we got through turns 1 and 2 decently, and we come through turns 3 and turns 4, get through there once again decently now, as I felt like I could have picked the throttle up a little bit earlier there on the exit. Now as we go down this front straightaway for our qualifying attempt at the line of 39.059, and we go a disappointing P18. But I did have draft partners turned on for this race, I should mention, so that's going to spice things up quite a bit. And on the pole, we got Denny Hamlin.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series races back to Michigan International Speedway. Now, Michigan is the fastest track in NASCAR, making it a favorite of race fans. It's time to head down to the track and find out who's the fastest racer. NASCAR Racing is next.
All right, thank you, Rick Allen. We're ready to go green for the Consumers Energy 400 here at Michigan International Speedway. Denny Hamlin starts on pole. He has won 6 races this season. He looks to make it 7. Tyler Reddick joins Hamlin on the front row. He's looking very fast as Jimmy Johnson had an engine change after qualifying. He's starting at the back. He needs every point possible right now as the playoff picture is very close for him. As we're ready to go green now, the green flag is out. Last time out here in career mode at Watkins Glen, we picked up the victory. Hopefully we can go back-to-back here with a win in Michigan. Brad Keselowski starts on my inside there as we go down towards turns 1. You see Hamlin and Reddick on the front row, but Joey Logano getting aggressive already. He would take them 3 wide into turns 1 for the lead. So Joey Logano already out front after starting in the 3rd position as we settle in right here behind the 4 of Kevin Harvick down this back straightaway for the first and opening lap. In the 96 of Parker Kligerman had a great qualifying effort, but very slow already as we go down towards turn 3. Like I said, keep in mind, I turned draft partners on for this race, and you're going to see it make probably quite a bit of a difference at certain times. Now, as you can see, the 2 of Keselowski, he is currently a draft partner, so we're hoping that we can get linked up with him pretty quickly. Now, as we look to the inside of the 24 of William Byron, who's also in the mix of that playoff battle right now for those final few spots, along with Eric Almirola. So we got to be really careful around drivers like William Byron, Eric Almirola, Clint Boyer, and Jimmy Johnson, as well as our rival of Daniel Suarez. Those are the 5 drivers right now battling it out for about 2 spots, because Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney are very comfortably inside the playoffs, and they will both mathematically clinch themselves in with just a few good performances. As we look to the inside of Clint Boyer, getting help from a draft partner of Brad Keselowski, who came out of turns 4. We would get past the 37 as well. Then the 4 would get linked up with my back bumper here. Now is on lap 3. We get pushed past the 00 of now Landon Castle as we came through crossing the line. So we were moving forwards very quickly, but as we went down towards turns 3, Harvick on that now lap 4 would get up my inside, and that would also allow the 2 of Keselowski to follow through and get up my inside as well as we came out of turns 4. So once again, just kind of get caught off guard right there, and that would allow the 4 and the 2 to get past me here as we went down this front straightaway. So 10 laps to go in stage 1, and we drop outside of the top 10 for a brief moment here down into P12 as Denny Hamlin was back out front at this point. So I just kind of get linked up with Keselowski, and then we had help from Martin Truex Jr. We had a little 3-car trio going on here, all bumper to bumper down the straightaways as we went down into turns 1. Tyler Reddick now was leading this race. If he could win today, that would shake up the playoffs quite considerably once again. Now as we go down this back straightaway, getting linked back up once again with the 2 of Keselowski, but there's a smoking car ahead now as we're both going to go to the inside, nearly turning the 2, and it's the 41 of Suarez smoking. He is blowing up. He might be out of this race. One of the drivers in the mix of the playoff battle, but now we got cars wrecking in the mix of this. The 10 of Almirola, another playoff driver, the 24 of William Byron involved as well. All those 3 playoff drivers battling for, I should say, those final few playoff spots, all involved in the incident. Some drivers pitted, we did not. 4 drivers or so came to the pit lane. We stayed out and got ready to go green from P7. So just like that, Daniel Suarez, you can see his dot is on the pit lane. Daniel Suarez is out here in Michigan, our rival, and that means that he is going to be in quite a bit of trouble here at the end of this race, and he has to hope that the other bubble drivers do not get a whole lot of points here today. Now, as we go down into turns 1 on this restart, only 4 laps to go in this first stage. Kyle Busch now out front in that JGR Toyota Camry as we go down this backstretch, clearing Keselowski for P6, and I decided we're going to try and get right there behind my teammate Kurt Busch, not really knowing what lane I wanted to go in at this point as we go down into turn 3. Kyle Busch, the leader, all the way to the top. Hamlin gets to the inside. They're going 3 wide again for the lead here. Logano on the bottom of Hamlin. Kyle Busch is going to carry the momentum down the front stretch, and he's going to try and battle his way back forwards as I'm just kind of chilling right here behind the 20 and the 1 of our teammate Kurt Busch. Now he's going to push Jones down this front stretch towards turns 1 as JGR all up here inside the top 3, and then Truex a few positions back now as it's only 3 to go in the stage at this point. Kyle Busch once again would go all the way to the top, and it was not working at all for him as he completely gave away the lead with that move. But we come through now with 2 to go in the stage. Jones had worked his way to the front. Hamlin had been trying to run the top. Kurt Busch gets right behind me, and now he is a draft partner as we go down this front stretch to start the final lap of the stage, and we get a big push from our CGR teammate of Kurt Busch, and now he's going to push me past both Kyle Busch and Joey Logano as we go down into turns 1. So all of a sudden we are up in P3, and hopefully we can get another big push from our teammate. Sure enough, through the center of the corner out of turns 2, we get a big hit from behind from the 2 of Kurt Busch, but we get disconnected down the back straightaway. I try to side drop the 11, can't quite make it happen here on the final lap in stage 1 as it's Kyle Busch with his brother Kurt side by side. As we go down into turn 3, we send it up the inside of Denny Hamlin. As we come through out of turns 4, it's going to be close between myself and the 11 now as we would clear Hamlin down the front straightaway, and he would push me coming to the line as Jones wins stage 1 here in Michigan as we get P2. So a very, very solid second position here in stage 1 now, as we would have to come to the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 tires. And as usual, this season we can count on our pit crew to gain us positions. Our pit crew has put us P1 for the stage 2 restart now as the green flag is back out, and we are officially underway here for the second stage at Michigan now, as we are going to try our best to get clear of that 20 of Eric Jones so we don't have to worry about him through the center of turns 1 and 2 battling back. And sure enough, we are clear of the JGR youngster now as we go down into this first corner. Hamlin's going to get up the inside of his JGR teammate of Eric Jones and immediately closes right up to the back of myself now as we go down this back straightaway. So already seeing that I'm going to have to defend pretty hard on this whole JGR squad of Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, and as well as Martin Truex Jr. up in the mix. And not Joey Logano, I don't know why I said Joey Logano, Eric Jones now as we come through turns 3 and out of turns 4. You see they're going 3 wide racing behind us now as we go down this front straightaway. It looks like 4 wide even for a brief amount of time. Kyle Busch though into second place. Hamlin trying to battle back there as we go down towards turns 1, and Hamlin just seems to have such a fast car. He's got 6 wins this season and actually hasn't gone to victory lane in quite a handful of races now. So as we go down into turns 3 though on lap 2, Hamlin is closing in once again. Kyle Busch all the way to the top as we exit turns 4, and I knew that I didn't have a whole lot for Hamlin there as I tried to defend for a moment, but everybody's coming out of nowhere at once now. Kyle Busch, Hamlin, and Martin Truex Jr. The whole JGR camp just gangs up on me. We're 3 wide into turns 1 for the lead for a brief moment, and now it's Truex and Hamlin side by side. I get overtaken by the 20, the 1, the 18 on my outside as we come through turns 2, and now we got Keselowski hooked up on my back bumper now as Ryan Blaney tried to make a pass, couldn't quite make it happen, and then Blaney would actually get in behind me eventually now as we were running P6 on lap 4 of the stage. Hamlin this time leading, but he goes to the top, and they're 3 wide for a second, and they might even go 4 wide for the lead for a very brief moment, but Hamlin stays clear as he would use that momentum to his advantage from that top lane and hold on to the lead for a brief amount of time. As it's some great racing here today in Michigan as we're linked up once again with our teammate of Kurt Busch. It's kind of right now Joe Gibbs Racing with 4 cars versus Chip Ganassi Racing with 2 cars of myself and Kurt Busch. We would stay right on the back of our teammate of Kurt Busch with 7 laps to go at this point. In the second stage, he kind of gets cut off. We get into the back of him there, and now as we go down into turns 1, the back end slips out. Kurt Busch goes sliding, but he hangs onto it. A great save, and as that happens, a caution comes out from what looks like possibly Landon Castle. So we would stay out here and get ready to go back green. We would be restarting P6 with Kyle Busch and Eric Jones on the front row, and in row 2 we got Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. Row 3, myself, Kurt Busch, and then you look behind us. Right now it's Joe Gibbs 1, 2, 3, 4, then it's Chip Ganassi Racing 5th, 6th, and then it's Penske Racing 7th and 8th, and even 9th I think there. We got Keselowski, and then we also got Tyler Reddick there in the mix as we come through turns 1. So really 3 teams right now kind of make up the top 10 other than the 31, and actually now the 95 sneaks in the top 10 there from Matt DiBenedetto as we're going to be side by side with Ryan Blaney down this back straightaway towards turn 3, right on the back there of the 19 of Truex as we go down into turn 3. He's going all the way up to the top. Eric Jones up higher as well. But you see the top 3 drivers right now all on that bottom now as we get a nice little shove there from behind from the 31 of Reddick, and that allows me to get clear of the 12 and the 19 and close up quite quickly on the back of our teammate Kurt Busch. We come through now, approaching 2 to go on the stage. Still have help from the 31 of Tyler Reddick, and I'm going to give a big push to the back of my teammate Kurt Busch, and we still have Reddick right behind us, so this might work out very well as we push Kurt Busch past the 20, and then we're going to push him up the inside of the 18 as we go down into turns 1. Kurt Busch up into second place. Hamlin still leads as we get another hit from behind from the 31 of Reddick, nearly getting into the side there of the 18 of Kyle Busch now, as we're going to get right back once again on the bumper of Kurt Busch, and we have this little 3-car trio that we're going to use to power past the 11 of Denny Hamlin as we approach the final lap here in stage 2. And once again, Reddick is going to give me another hit to the bumper, and he might push me ahead of the 11, and actually Kurt Busch goes up high, and we have such a massive run from help from Tyler Reddick that we're going to go through to the lead here on the final lap in stage 2 as we go down into this first corner now, as I though enter a lot lower than I wanted to, and I had to slow up because the 1 was there, and now we get another hit from behind, and that kind of hurts me now as we slip and slide a little bit, and now the 1 is going to go past, as well as the 11 of Hamlin, and then the 18 of Kyle Busch is going to get to my outside as well, but we get once again another hit from behind as we go down into turn 3. Kurt Busch though out front now as I don't get through turn 3 very good at all now, as we're going to have to really rely on the 31 of Tyler Reddick for some help as we come through out of turn 4. He would get to my back bumper on this front stretch, but it wasn't going to be enough. Kurt Busch, our teammate, though, wins stage 2. We come through to cross the line to get P3, so very solid. We pushed our teammate of Kurt Busch out front to get into a position to even have a chance to win stage 1, so definitely cool to get him the stage victory. Matt DiBenedetto rounds out the top 10, so he gets 1 point. We would pit for 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires, no adjustments necessary. Our pit crew did not gain us any spots on this pit stop, but Denny Hamlin's crew put him out front now as Kurt Busch will restart in the second position. Here we are for the third and final stage. 18 laps remain here in our final trip to Michigan here in the NASCAR Heat 4 career mode, right on the back of the 11 of Hamlin as we go down into turns 1. Would love to be clear of our teammate Kurt Busch on the exit of turns 2 so we could attack the 11, but unfortunately it's not going to quite work like that, as actually slipped up a little bit there on the exit of the second corner behind us. Truex getting very aggressive. He's going to go 3 wide here with Tyler Reddick and Eric Jones as we go down into turn 3 as we're up the inside still of Kyle Busch as we come through the center of the corner. Hamlin trying to stretch out the gap early on here in this third and final stage. A big help though from behind now from the 19 of Truex, but it doesn't really seem to be doing much because both the 31 and the 18 get to my outside as we go down towards turns 1, and they seem to be gaining ground as we go down into the corner now, as the 31 definitely has the better opportunity to maybe get ahead, but the 19 is going to give me a big hit to the back bumper now as we exit turns 2, slipping and sliding there as you can see based off of my rear view camera as we go down this back stretch, and Reddick still on my outside at this point as we're still right in behind our teammate Kurt Busch. It's Hamlin, the leader. He's going to jump all the way up high now and see if he can carry that momentum on the exit of turns 4, but Reddick finally gets clear of me, but we wouldn't really let up on the fight as we went down into turns 1 and lap 35. A bit of a mistake though on the entrance of the corner from myself. We slip up. Eric Jones gets to the inside. He passes me, and so does the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. Down to P6 with Kyle Busch just behind now as we came through on lap 36, going up the inside here, trying to make a pass on Truex here as we came through turn 3 and turn 4, wanting to stick with that lead pack, but it wouldn't quite work out, and he would stay clear of me. And I should mention Kyle Busch would also get past me. I forgot to show that in the footage here, but Kyle Busch would also pass me, and then we had the 4 of Kevin Harvick get into the mix as a draft partner, so he would actually give me some help now as Kyle Busch was now working on passing the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. here on lap 38 of 50. Hamlin still with a fairly comfortable lead over second place of our teammate of Kurt Busch, and I was hoping that Harvick would give me a big push down the straightaway so we could power past the 19, and sure enough, here comes the push as we're going to slingshot to the inside of Martin Truex Jr. down into turns 3, and once again we're going to climb back up into the 6th position just behind Kyle Busch, and we would have help continuously from the 4 of Harvick, and we just kind of worked together with myself, Harvick, and Kyle Busch, and we would slowly but surely start to reel in that pack of 4 cars up ahead of Hamlin Eric Jones, and then we got Kurt Busch as well as Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick has the potential to really shake up the playoff grid once again as we exit turns 2. Harvick still right there glued with me with about a car length or so behind now. As like I said though, we were just kind of in this little 3-car trio once again here with Kyle Busch and Harvick, and it was allowing us to quickly close in on the back of our teammate of Kurt Busch as Reddick was trying to make a move for the lead on Denny Hamlin at this point here as they came through out of turns 4. Now as we came through on lap 43 out of turns 2, still the same scenario, but even closer. Tyler Reddick though, he was out front now at this point compared to Denny Hamlin as we're right on the back bumper of Kyle Busch now on lap 44 and going down into turns 3. We push him to the inside of our teammate of Kurt Busch. Reddick has the 11 right now under control as it's a 3-car breakaway as we get to the inside of the 1 of Kurt Busch, trying to get past him for a P5 position here as we hit now just 6 laps to go in Michigan now as we're going to have the edge over Kurt Busch as we go down into turns 1. We kind of got separated from Harvick now, but we clear Kurt Busch down into the corner. So up in the top 5 we go as we come through now turns 3. On lap 45 the caution comes out with 6 laps to go and everybody is going to have to come to the pit lane. I decide no tires and half a can of fuel. I waited for us to actually get to the line here so we would hit 5 laps to go, and then I was going to skip. But I was thinking the AI might take 2 tires, but I decided to risk it anyways and take just half a can of fuel. Sure enough, 2 laps to go when we go green, and we are now in control of the restart, and hopefully we can hang on to a victory now as the green flag is out. Myself, Tyler Reddick, P1, P2, Hamlin Jones, P3, and P4. The tire icon comes on immediately, but we are going to be okay. We have enough tires to make it the final 2 laps. But do we have the grip to hold on to the victory here as we go down into turns 1? Tyler Reddick, not a great launch there off the restart, and that's kind of what I wanted to see now, as I would love for it to be single file right behind me. And sure enough, Hamlin pulls up. We're going to have to block him pretty hard now as he's already trying to look to the inside here down the backstretch. I'm going to cover him off, making sure he can't lunge, but I still need to get a decent arc into turns 3 here as we come through the center of the corner. Hamlin putting all the pressure on myself right now as we come through, approaching the final lap here as we slip up a little bit right there though on the exit of turns 4. We correct it, we hang on, but that allows the 11 of Hamlin to pounce on the opportunity. He's going to go through to P1 as we start the final lap here in Michigan, but we have the 31 of Tyler Reddick giving us help as we go down into turns 1, and that's what we're going to have to rely on here as we come through turns 1 and 2 for the final time here. Kurt Busch, our teammate on the inside, both of us would love to pounce on the opportunity now as we exit turns 2, slipping and sliding, and once again the 31 is coming from behind, is going to give us a big push now as we're going to power ahead of the 1 of Kurt Busch on this final lap down into turn 3. We have a huge run, and we're going to full send up the inside of Denny Hamlin for the lead as we're going to be side by side for the victory now as we slip up there on the exit of turns 4. Kurt Busch is turning us as we come through down the front straightaway. Hamlin in front, Kyle Busch second, and we're crashing now coming to the line here as Hamlin wins it in Michigan as a caution would fly as we come to the line. What a spectacular race it was here in Michigan, and in a wild overtime finish. I sent it into turn 3. You guys are gonna see my POV right here. The whole thing. I wanted to show the replay of just kind of my perspective of that. I full send into turn 3 right here, trying my best to just stay with Hamlin, and then on the exit of turns 4 I slip up, and Kurt Busch was actually a draft partner, and he just glued to my back bumper, and unfortunately he got into my left rear and caused this all right here as the race would be called, as actually Hamlin I think was already over the line anyway, so he was no matter what going to win. But that was Hamlin's 7th win of the season. What a race here in Michigan. What a finish. Now, as I gave it everything I had, unfortunately we wrecked the car going for it. Yeah, I knew going down into turn 3, we had such a big push from Tyler Reddick, I had to at least try something. Unfortunately, that something did not quite work out in our favor. But wow, we put on a show here today in Michigan with the draft partners turned on, and if you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. There you see the Truck Series playoff grid right now, as well as the Xfinity Series will make the playoffs in every series, obviously, this season. Hopefully we can get some more wins in Xfinity. We're quite a ways down the order. And in the Cup Series, though, that is really the big one to watch because we got one heck of a points battle going on right now. On the right bottom, you see William Byron, 10 points out. Daniel Suarez, 34 points out. Eric Almirola, 37, and Jimmy Johnson and Clint Boyer are the two guys in that are very close on points. Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, they are very comfortable right now. They should not have to worry at all without wins, surprisingly. But that will do it for this episode. In the next one, we go to Bristol where we won at last time. So I'm confident. So thank you all for watching, and have yourselves a great day, everybody.